Like I was like, no, that's horrible.
Another week, another Chatterbox. My name is Dan, and today we've got the full team. It's your boy P.
Yeah.
The brother Sean. And the ladies love, it's Audrey.
Hello.
Done, no. And it's keeping it real OG styly. It's the boy Des.
Yes. I'll get there.
Yeah, we need you there, bro. Just, you need to work on your timing, I suppose. Now, today, we'll be reviewing the sequel to the 2006 film Borat, which sees Sacha Baron Cohen return as the famous Kazakhstan journalist Borat, who returns to America after being offered the chance to redeem himself by the Kazakhstan government after the embarrassment he brought to his country in the first film. In typical fashion, Borat doesn't fail to shock the public with his controversial antics, but also he has a new travel partner with him on his journey, which is his 15-year-old daughter, Tutar Sagdiev, played by Maria Bakalova, who tags along and adds uniquely to the drama that surrounds him. Now, I'm really interested to hear what you guys have got to say about this film. We've done a little trailer reaction recently, and there was some contrasting views. I think the film took a different turn to what we expected, and I don't know whether it packed the same punches as before, but talking about punches, was this one a hit or a miss for you guys?
It was a miss for me. He's done it. Nothing new.
It's not my cup of tea. Not even the first one was, but this one definitely wasn't.
I enjoyed it. I thought it had a few jokes in there, some laughs and stuff. So I think it was okay.
Boom. It was a miss. The punches were flying. It was a miss, man. Couldn't bobbing and weaving all over the place.
Interesting. For me, I don't really know. I can't make my mind up, but I don't feel it was a hit. I wouldn't say it was totally a miss, but we know Sacha Baron Cohen is a real talent in the film industry. But what was his strongest display in this film? Was it the screenplay, jokes, or just his acting?
I don't know. Because it was a miss to me, I just thought the strongest display in this program was the credits.
The credits, I literally went into this one, went into watching it initially thinking, it's going to be Sacha with his own antics, taking a mickey out of the American public, which is normally hilarious. It's my kind of humor, really. It came with a funny story about a relationship with his daughter, Tutar, which was, I thought it was funny. The story, also tied into the global pandemic, which I thought was quite clever. I don't think it's going to be a miss, to be fair. I think it's an okay film.
Over the years, we've seen Sacha Baron Cohen play an ensemble of characters, and over the last 2 decades in various films and shows. But what do you think about Borat that makes him stand out from the rest?
I don't think he stands out from the rest. For me, he doesn't. I've never really been a fan of Sacha Baron Cohen's work in terms of Ali G and Borat and those characters. I'm more of a fan when he works with other people, when he does acting and he does other movies and TV shows and things like that. Like, I've enjoyed him in lots of roles. I enjoyed him in the trial of Chicago 7. I enjoyed him in that. So those characters, they just don't do anything for me, to be honest. And Borat doesn't do anything for me. It's just not funny for me.
Just thinking back, over the past 2 decades, he's definitely done quite a number of films and characters and different roles that he played. So clearly he's talented. And I said that when we did a trailer reaction. He's won countless awards for his comedy and, like I said, the characters as well. And I was thinking, I wonder if is he the Eddie Murphy of the Jewish community? So, but his comedy is not for me. My laughter, I save it for something that's really funny. It's more kind of cringe than binge for me. It sort of shows. And to answer the question, Borat, the character, he continues to be kind of ignorant in a way, and ignorant to the westernized cultures, and probably innocent in a way as well. But despite this man travels to so many other places as well, and learning about different cultures around the world. But instead, he brings his own culture, which people look at and judge him on. So rather than embracing the westernized culture, he just brings his own culture and throws it out there. So is he learning anything really? He's traveling the world. Is he getting anything? Is he delivering anything new? Nah, he's still stuck.
Yeah, it felt like maybe Borat just didn't need to come back, and I don't know. You could tell how everything was set up. You could tell that even though people may not have been fully aware of what was going on, there was a lot of editing involved, and it wasn't quite the reality that you would expect from something like this 10, 15 years ago. I don't know. Now, there were some funny moments throughout the film that made you giggle or made you think that would be even funnier if it was actually not set up. But what were your favorite or memorable moments from this film?
The fertility dance that he did with his daughter, I thought that was a bit funny. I know it's really, it goes against the social norms, as you would call it, but I just saw it for what it was. I just knew it wasn't something that's going to happen in real life. I just see it as someone just playing the fool, and that's what he did. I just know what to expect with him. So for me, I wasn't really disappointed. I didn't think this was really bad. I just think it is what it is. It's Borat being Borat, and had some funny moments, and yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, I just don't do well with this type of comedy. I don't like cringe stuff. It just makes me not want to watch it. But I will say that dance with his daughter was very memorable because I don't know what happened, but I must not have been paying attention. Then I came back and they were dancing. And I was like, what's that? No. And I had to rewind it. And then I was like, no. Like, I was like, no, that's horrible. That shit scared me. No, that was very memorable. It's scarred in my head, in my brain.
See, what I like with some of the work that Sacha puts out there is that sometimes it challenges people's way of thinking, and it's more the way in which people react to what he's doing that I really enjoy and I find funny. But in this one, I felt like maybe it was trying too hard to be funny, and it was not really actually looking at the kind of social side of things in a way that a lot of people do really well online. And I was thinking about this, and I thought maybe because of the way the internet works and how many people do these prank videos on all the different platforms that are available. Obviously, we see a lot of it on YouTube. Maybe it's harder to put that into a film, especially when you've got a character as internationally known as Borat. Even when he was in a shop, there was the fancy dress costume of himself. Bit weird, though, that the guy didn't actually recognize him. Now, there's been a lot of controversy around this film again, like the backlash received by New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani for his hotel room scene with Borat's 15-year-old daughter. And although we know comedy comes with pushing social boundaries, like I mentioned before, did Sacha Baron Cohen go too far in this film for you?
Yeah, for me, in a nutshell, I think there's still a way for him to go. He pushes the boundaries. Did he overstep the mark? I think he still pushes and pushes and pushes. So he's still got some distance in him before something really does happen. Shock element just motivates him and his team, and they like that. I suppose his fans like that as well. And they see it in the name of entertainment. And in this world, there's some people that can do and say various things and get away with it. I think there's a particular name for some of those individuals. I can't remember what it was. So he's still pushing boundaries whenever he can and just getting away with it. But one thing I've got to say about Maria Bakalova, I think she played her part well as well. And I'd like to see her in a more of a serious film. I know she does a lot of Bulgarian films, and there's one coming out called The Last Call. And it's a rom-com. And this is something that I want to look at because on IMDb, it's rated at like 8 out of 10 or something. So even though it's got some subtitles, I want to see what she's really about because I think following this here, I think she's going to make a little name for herself.
Now, it's interesting you mentioned Maria Bakalova there, Des, because she's been tipped by Sacha Baron Cohen for an Oscar for her performance in this film. Do you think it's justified after seeing this film?
I don't know. I don't know if it's justified or not in terms of Oscar because I don't know the competition. But she's really, really good, and she's the best thing about this movie. She kept me involved, like watching this movie. Like she was really talented, and I like most of the things she done. Like she was funny. Just so there's a bit where she goes into the Republican women something they're doing, having a chat or something, and she like tells this little story and about her pleasuring herself, should I say? And at first I was cringing, but then when she started speaking, I was like, oh, this is actually funny though. Like I still was cringing, but I was laughing also. Like, and she's the best part of it, and he knew that. That's why I think she took up a good portion of the movie because she was definitely the best thing about it.
She was the best thing about the film. Rah, that's saying a lot. Maybe Sacha won't mind. I'm sure he can be quite humble and let someone else take the star position. The first Borat film made 262 million in the box office worldwide after being released in 2006, which is a huge number for an $80 million film. But do you think this film would have done similar numbers if COVID didn't have an impact and it was released in the cinemas?
I don't know what the streaming numbers will be, but if I was going to bet my money, I think it would end up being like in the tens of millions probably, or maybe even up to 100 million. I don't know. I think they're really going to do like good numbers because Borat. I mean, even Kazakhstan. Funny enough, I was reading up on it. I heard Kazakhstan's actually using Borat's catchphrase "very nice" in their new tourism campaign. So, I mean, I think it's going to do well. Like whether it's our type of comedy or not, whether it's cringy or not, I just think there's going to be a mass majority of people that's out there that likes this type of cringe-worthy comedy, and I think it's going to do really well.
Sacha Baron Cohen has been around for quite some time. He's been around since the 90s, and he has quite a following. So if this film had reached to the cinema, there'd be people going in their droves to actually watch it. And I believe it could have surpassed the previous amount and made even double.
Interesting. Now, Amazon Prime Video seems to be making waves again. Was it a great move by Amazon in securing the second Borat film for their platform?
Well, like Pete said already, he's got a huge following, especially based on his last film, which he said made 262 million from an 80 mil budget. One thing I don't really get is how this film is going to be measured, because is there a way of actually knowing, yes, 10 million people within a week watched the new Borat film? Do they measure it that particular way? Because I'm not too sure how it's measured. Like, for instance, Netflix would say number 1 on Netflix or number 10 in Netflix. You know what I mean? So how is it measured? Amazon Studios actually created it, or they funded it. So they must have done the numbers, and they know they're going to make stupid amount of money based on this past performance. How they're going to work that one out, I'm not too sure. Maybe one of you guys could tell me, because you know more about the streaming and how they actually calculate the numbers of viewers that they use on a regular basis, or that sees films on a regular basis. I'm not too sure.
Even if you think of it from a point of view and say, all right, he's got a certain amount of fans that would watch his stuff anyway. But then on top of that, from where I stand, and I'm looking from the outside looking in, I think even the fact that he's caused a lot of outcry with some of the antics, and like you guys were saying, it's got a lot of cringeworthy stuff in it. I think even people who don't really like that kind of comedy might actually watch it purely for the talking points. Do you know what I mean? So, and you always get that throughout history. Even when some of the videos, the shocking stuff that you see coming out online, and someone sends a WhatsApp and it goes viral. Some of the stuff that I see come through on my phone is some shocking footage, but yet still millions and millions of people end up watching it. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I think the film's going to be a success. I don't see him having any issues doing the numbers. You know, no matter what gets written about in the Sun or whatever newspaper, I just think he's going to do really well.
Now, the numbers on this one aren't released. Amazon and Netflix and some other streaming sites are quite known for not actually releasing the viewing numbers. But I think it's Samba TV. I was just trying to have a look for the article. Put the number at around 1.6 million views in its first weekend. But because we don't know a lot of the figures from these streaming sites, you can't really give that a comparison, whether that's good, whether that's bad. And then also you've got to think about the fact, like P, you know, basically uses other people's passwords to access streaming sites. I wouldn't ever dream of doing such a thing. And so are you really getting a true reflection on the viewing figures? Also, like me, you know, I sit and watch films with my family. There's technically 3 of us watching. If we went to the cinema, we would pay for 3 tickets. But in my house, you don't know whether it's 3 of us watching or just 1 of us. And if we watch it multiple times, that adds to the figures. But technically, we're not paying. So there's a lot of variables, but they're putting the figure at 1.6 million views in the first weekend. Now, all of that is very interesting. I'm a little bit surprised at some of your views, but I'm most interested, and I'm guessing it's going to be low, but how many stars is it getting, boys?
It's only going this high for Maria Bakalova. 3 stars.
I have to give this a solid 2. Solid 2.
Yeah, 3 stars.
Well, I'll give it 2 stars.
For me, this film, 2.5 stars. I was interested to see what Sacha Baron Cohen was going to do. However, I did feel at the bottom of my heart, it just wasn't a time for a Borat remake. And yeah, the star of the show probably was Maria, and I hope that she doesn't go into a career of trying to reinvent used, tested, tried characters. And I think it's time for Sacha to start thinking about new ventures to try. Although one thing I will say is his accent in Borat was 100% better than his accent in the recent trial of the Chicago 7 or 8. I can't remember. But in the trial of the Chicago lot, his accent was terrible. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode. We definitely want to hear what you guys have got to say about Borat's second film. Let us know in the comments. While you're there, hit that big red subscribe button. Next to it, there's a little bell. Make sure you hit that. You get a notification every time we upload a new video. We're on the socials too, so let us know what you're watching. Tell us what we should be watching, and we might be reviewing it in the next episode. My name is Dan. We got your boy P. Don't know it's the brother Sean.
Very nice.
And we've got the ladies love Andre.
Yeah.
Come on, OG, tell them what it is. It's Des.
It's cool. Cool, man. Yeah.
Yes, Chatterbox, peace and love, people.
All right.